Points. Voting commences in Austrian governorship election. Voter turnout impressive. Bandits abduct 2 Catholic priests in Kaduna. Nigeria's inflation rate hits a 65-month high of 18.6% in June 2020. And on the foreign scene, 3 killed, 15 injured in Russian strike on Ukraine's Dnipro. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. And now we move on to the details. Voting has commenced as scheduled in some polling units in Olorunda local government area, Oshogbo, for the governorship election with an impressive turnout of voters. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that women and the elderly took the lead in the election that is so far experiencing effective functionality of the bimodal voter accreditation system as well as security presence.
This is polling unit 4, Owode in Oshogbo. As early as 8:40, voting has commenced here with all the stakeholders present, the security agencies, the INEC personnel, and of course all party agents. The first person has just voted right now, and of course we've also witnessed the functionality of the Vivas, and of course the orderly queue of the prospective voters. Most of them elderly. One interesting thing about the exercise here, we intend to engage some of them as to why, despite their age, are interested in exercising their franchise. Daddy, can you talk to us? Can you talk to us, sir?
You say?
Yeah, can we know yourself?
Well, my name is Julius Ogini.
Right, sir. Sir, how old are you?
I'm now 72. I'm 71 plus. Sorry. Plus.
Okay, despite your age, you are here to exercise your franchise. Why is it important for you to exercise this voting right?
Yeah, it is my civic right to vote for my candidate for the betterness of this state.
Right. Okay, how would you describe the exercise here?
For now, everything is going very well. I'm very, very okay with the situation of things now.
So, as we heard from one of the prospective voters, is right on the queue now. It's about to exercise his fundamental right, to voting in this democratic exercise. And the elderly, you can see, people behind him also very much set, to cast their votes. And they are also impressed with the level of preparedness and, of course, the conduct of the exercise here at the Unit 4, Owode in Oshogbo. From the Osun State Capital, Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News.
Similarly, newly created Unit 13 of Ward 6 in Olorunda local government area, one of the recent additions to the number of voting units in Osun State, looks deserted in the ongoing governorship election. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman visited the polling unit and now reports.
Interestingly, a few meters away from the Unit 4, Owode, is the newly created Unit 13 by INEC, which is in Ward 6, Olorunda local government. Unfortunately, here, the voters, prospective voters, are already here on ground as at this time, but there is no sign of election about to take place here. No INEC officials, no voting cubicles, and of course, no election materials. So let's engage one of the party agents to tell us what exactly is happening here. What's your name?
My name is Kayode Babawale.
Okay. This is supposed to be one of the newly created units.
Yes, it's a new created.
So what is happening here? I haven't seen anything taking place.
We are since waiting for the electoral officers since morning. We are here, but there's no any sign that the officer. There's no any sign that's of election here. So that is, and we call many people that what is happening, but we don't know really happen.
So what do you intend to do now as a party agent? What's your next step?
We still call them, but we don't know what we can do now. That is why we call you.
So both the party agents and other stakeholders here at Ward 13, newly created ward by INEC, polling unit 13, which is newly created at Ward 6, are so far helpless, so to speak, because they are not, nobody is communicating to them. They don't know their fate with regards to whether they will be able to exercise their fundamental right of voting in this governorship election. They are hoping that stakeholders, the critical stakeholders, INEC in particular, which is the electoral umpire, would take this issue up and of course make sure that they are not disenfranchised.
The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has cast his vote in the ongoing Osun State governorship election. He cast his ballot on Saturday morning at polling unit 9, Ward 2 in Eden North local government area of the state. Senator Adeleke, who arrived at his polling unit in Obogunde, Shagba, Eden North about 8:46 a.m., was accredited by the electoral officials on duty at about 8:50 a.m. before casting his vote. Speaking to reporters after casting his votes, the PDP governorship candidate commended INEC for ensuring that everything about the process goes well. The Center for Rehabilitation and Social Integration in Africa has described the selection of Bishop Isaac Idahosa by Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso as an own goal which will affect the chances of NNPP in the presidential election. Executive Director of the Center, Michael Ibeabuchi, described Idahosa as one who lacked popularity and knowledge of politics, noting that such attributes will add no value to the ticket.
Sometimes you begin to think where the political trajectory is going to. When people have put in a lot to support a political party and, at the end of the day, there is no, recourse to what they have done. I can tell you it's a very serious mistake by His Excellency. It's going to affect his chances because choosing politics is not Nollywood. It's not drama. So going to choose the Nollywood dramatical Archbishop Idahosa is not going to give him a single vote. Before now, I don't know him. I only know him as a man of God. I have never seen him in the political space. So tell me, who is he going to mobilize? Is an own goal he has called for himself again.
A Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Haliru Maraya is opposed to a Muslim presidential ticket of the ruling All Progressives Congress. Maraya, in an exclusive interview with Trust TV, says same-faith ticket will further disunite Nigerians and it contravenes the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. The report.
The announcement of former Governor of Borno State Senator Kashim Shettima as the running mate of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu came as a surprise to many, and it still generated reactions from different quarters. Kaduna State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) during press briefing in the state rejected the same-faith ticket. Commenting on the development, Sheikh Haliru Maraya rejects same-faith ticket, also saying it contravenes the Constitution and the spirit of togetherness.
That particular section talks about the composition of the government at the federal level, that the composition should be done in such a way that it will promote national unity and it will also reflect the federal character of Nigeria. So going by what the APC has done, undoubtedly they have contradicted the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and what they have done is also at variance with the spirit of justice, fairness, and equity.
The assertion of people like Maraya is that same-faith ticket will bring disunity among Nigerians. though some argue that competence of the candidate and not their religions should take precedence. However, Sheikh Halidu Maraya is of the opinion that one of the implications of same-faith ticket is mutual suspicion among adherents of different religious persuasions.
The implication, one, there will be disunity. The country will be further disunited. As you can testify, presently there are many people who have resigned their membership of the APC. Because of what? Because of the Muslim ticket. Hitherto, they were doing politics together with the Muslims. Now, they have left the Muslims. This has brought what? Disunity.
According to him, the country has been polarized along many faultiness, including religion. He therefore called on the leaders to promote inclusivity in whatever they do for the unity and development of Nigeria.
On insecurity, bandits have kidnapped 2 more priests of a Catholic church in Kaduna State. The 2 priests, Reverend Father John Chitnam and Reverend Father Donatus Cleopas, were reportedly abducted on Friday evening in Jere local government area of the state. The abduction comes less than 2 weeks after another priest, Reverend Father Emmanuel Silas, who was kidnapped by bandits from the parish rectory of St. Charles Catholic Church, Zamina in Kauru local government area. Although the security agencies have yet to confirm the incident, the Chancellor of Kafanchan Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father Emmanuel Okolo, confirmed the abduction. In a statement, Okolo said the 2 priests were kidnapped by bandits at about 5 p.m. on Friday while they were on pastoral duty at the rectory of Christ the King Catholic Church, Yat Ngaru. You're still watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Waste dumping killing aquatic life. Do stay with us.
Where do they get food? How do they survive? Who is providing them with food? Are you not asking questions about the arms and ammunitions? What is the source? How are they getting it? For how long we've been fighting them? These are questions that you need to ask.
Do you mean that we should vacate all our villages, all our farms, all our houses, and surrender them to bandits, and wait for Police Officer General Emeka all the way from Enugu to come to Kaduna and rescue me? Defend yourself.
If the federal government is serious about curtailing this banditry, I can assure you it has the strength and the forces to do it. They were angered by my absence, so they decided to burn my house. Had it been I was present when they come, they would have killed me.
Kidnapping is just an extension of cattle rustling.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our major stories. We told you that voting commences in Osun governorship election. Voter turnout impressive. You also heard that bandits abduct 2 Catholic priests in Kaduna. To more news, the Borno State Police Command has arrested 67 suspects in June and July 2022. The suspects, according to the police, were involved in rape, gun trafficking, fraud, among other criminal activities. The report.
The Borno Police Command is currently investigating cases of possession of dangerous weapons and causing grievous hurt, possession of Indian hemp, and fraud. The Public Police Relations Officer, Sani Kamilu, said 30 suspects were arrested for gun trafficking and possession of arms, adding that 11 suspected armed robbers and 2 suspects for alleged fraud and rape were also apprehended.
One Buhari Malam Mohammed of Gomari Airport, Maiduguri, reported to this office that a syndicate of persons who claim to be spirits Aljanu from the inner world deceive him into believing that they were sent by God to financially reward him. Based on his positive integrity, that they made him to go to a designated location at Government Girls Secondary School, Maiduguri, and
She's 10 years old. When I was coming back from the market, I saw her at a shop. She said she wants us to go somewhere quiet, so we went to a building where I slept with her. While we were at it, people saw us. I paid her 30 naira. They called my elder brother and he collected their money and 3 phones, and they are now claiming it's 5 phones. That's what happened. My elder brother is the one doing this fraud business. I have nothing to do with this. I just found myself here in the police station. I loaded passengers from Gamburungala. While on my way, a soldier at a checkpoint gave me a small bag, saying that it's an MP3, that I should give it to a colleague in Maiduguri. I never knew that it was bullets inside until 2 days ago I was arrested. In another development, the command warned the public to desist from the use of spy plate numbers, saying failure to comply may lead to prosecution, adding that the command will continue to fight against criminals and criminality in the state.
Harmful human activities like indiscriminate dumping of plastic waste into rivers and disposal of chemicals by industries are said to be some of the factors responsible for the extinction of many aquatic animals as well as shrinking of the rivers. In this report, fishermen at River Kaduna say these and other unhealthy activities have led to a reduction in the quantity of fish they harvest from the river, as well as the decline in the river habitat, while experts believe aquatic animals would continue to go into extinction due to these activities. The report.
River Kaduna derived its name from crocodiles due to the abundance of these reptiles in the river in the past. Today, fishermen say they can hardly find any of them in the river. Yusuf is one of the fishermen along River Kaduna. He laments the drastic reduction in the quantity of fish from the river due to unhealthy treatment of the river by man.
We still have different species of fish, but the quantity has drastically reduced because of the shrinking of the river.
Abubakar Muhammad is an environmentalist and climate analyst. He says plastic waste kills aquatic life as it can stay for millions of years without decomposition.
Aquatic life majorly, they eat whatever they see within the water body. And some of them, if they, plastic does not dissolve or digest or even decompose on time. Plastic can stay millions of years without decomposition. Aquatic life will eat that. If they eat that, what happens is that it will make them to go into extinction. It's actually going to affect millions and millions of aquatic life that are living. That is why if you look at most of our rivers now, you hardly can find good quantity of fish in them.
One of the sources of protein is aquatic animals. He says if nothing is done to get rid of plastic in the river, it may affect food production.
This can actually bring about challenge in the production of food because one of the major sources of protein is from the aquatic life. You get it? So perhaps if we have shortage in the production of food, like especially protein, then you have so many people coming up with malnourished, malnutrition. That is people coming up with sickness like beriberi and so on and so forth.
The climate analyst says industrial wastes that empty into the river affect aquatic life, adding that discouraging indiscriminate dumping of plastic and the promotion of recycling activities will rescue aquatic life from further extinction.
Industries, they are wastes that they are allowed to run into the drainage, from the drainage to the water body, also affect aquatic life, especially petroleum wastes. You get it? They affect aquatic life because some of them can actually make this aquatic organism, it depletes the oxygen that is found in water. Most of these plastics, this petroleum waste, and some of this wood waste that they throw into water body can actually be refined for production. Yes, it can be turned into money.
Any other waste that comes to the river will decompose after some time, but the plastics wastes do not.
Experts say healthy aquatic life can be achieved by using fewer plastic products, participating in river cleanups, and supporting organizations working to protect marine life.
In business, recently released figures of the National Bureau of Statistics indicate that Nigeria's inflation rate rose in June to 18.60% on a year-on-year basis. The NBS in its Consumer Price Index June 2022 report explained that this represents an increase of 0.84% compared to the 17.75% rate recorded in June 2021. Increases were recorded in all classifications of individual consumption. In 2022, inflation rates have kept on rising, going from 15.60% in January to 15.70% in February and 15.92% in March. The inflation rates kept on rising to 16.82% in April, while it settled at 17.7% in May. Just before the most recent rise, the World Bank had listed Nigeria among 10 countries in the world with the worst inflation rates. The Global Bank's assessment is based on 2021 figures. Earlier, Trust TV spoke to Desmond John, an economist and public affairs analyst, on the development and asked how these statistics correlate with what is happening in the country.
It's as a result of the high cost of productions. You know, recently you can hear about the cost of diesel, which you use to produce most of our available household needs. You know, the demands are high, but the cost of production are also going high. You can see that the country has no fixed control of the fuel because of there's no power. So every producers, every manufacturers source its powers locally, and the major source of power as of today is diesel. And the cost of diesel has skyrocketed from 600 naira per litre to 850 naira per litre. So, and the demands for these goods is still the same. In fact, it's rising. Recently, we had a celebration in Nigeria that virtually encouraged, you know, more supplies, more buying. And we cannot produce and sell at the same rate, at the same price, when the cost of our production is high. Government needs to finance its own local production. When I mean finance its own local production, what are the key factors that support our production? For instance, the refinery. How can we don't have, there's nowhere diesel is being produced in Nigeria. So immediately the price of crude oil goes higher.
Everything goes higher.
The producers of that oil will also increase the price, and definitely it's going to affect the local market. But if we are producing oil in Nigeria, the refined products, then we can be sure that we can maintain some level of inflation. Inflation rise is a global phenomenon. In Nigeria, you've seen the trend. It's since 1960, we've never had it less than this. So, and our source of production, our supportive arm of production has not been developed. And there is no sign that these things are going to come up as soon as possible. So how do you produce without them?
Away from Nigeria, at least 3 people were killed and 15 others injured following a Russian missile attack on the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro Friday, the regional governor Valentin Reznichenko said. The governor, who explained that the rockets hit an industrial plant and a busy street next to it, said authorities were still determining the extent of the destruction. The Ukrainian military shot down 4 of the 6 missiles fired at the city and region in an evening attack, he added. The Ukrainian Air Force said the Russian-fired missiles from strategic aircraft in the northern part of the Caspian Sea, adding that the missiles had a range of 5,500 kilometers and a speed of 720 kilometers per hour. And finally, in sports, Nigeria is hosting the Africa Track Cycling Championship at the Velodrome of MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja. 15 countries are participating in 22 events in the cycling competition. Adeni Ajishafe reports.
2022 African Track Cycling Championship kickoff at the Velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with cyclists from 15 countries competing for medals and ranking points. A total of 35 men and women cyclists are flying Nigerian's flag at the Continental Championship. Jessica Gambari says Nigerian cyclists are ready to make the country proud as they have what it takes to rule Africa in cycling.
I'm happy to host African Championship in Nigeria, in our home, and also in our home track. So we expect more and to try our best to make our country proud. None of them, because no matter how strong they are, we are also strong and they are also scared of us.
Minister of Youth and Sport Development Sunday Dare, while declaring open the championship, assures participants of hitch-free competition with the fact that Nigeria as host nation have what it takes to host African Continental Championship because there is support for cycling in Nigeria.
The fact that Nigeria was considered to host a 15-nation championship is a confirmation of the fact that there has been support for cycling in Nigeria. Recall when we had Koja in 2003, and then after Koja for a long time there was an hiatus, and we didn't have any cycling tournament here until 2019. You look at the distance, what happened that time? And then from 2019, we're back here 3 years later, hosting double the size.
With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.